Okay. Oh snap! I didn't even know we was live. All right. Cool. 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 Let me just go send this out. Copy. So we're gonna be breaking down gold. We had an absolutely amazing week this week. Actually only took one trade. Or two trades, shall I say? But we just been trading only gold, and specifically for a reason because the structure has just been absolutely too clean, and there's no need to trade anything else with this structure looking this good. So we will get down into the breakdown here shortly. I actually was supposed to remove my take profit and carry this throughout the week, but I wasn't even. I already initially removed it, but um, we gotta come back to it. All right, so let's close this. All right, there we go. So I made roughly, I don't know, a couple thousands of dollars on gold here, and it is still going. So $10,000 on gold. I knew I should have. I had initially was supposed to take my take profit off and open up the take profit, but I went ahead and forgot to do that. So the take profit got hit, and we are already extended to take profit. Gold is just absolutely so bullish. Which is why we wanted to hold. And realistically, I wanted to hold to 2081 or 2080. This is where gold is the next move for me, is to go back up here to 2080. So we'll have a lot of obvious space to the upside to that 2081 level for next week. So that's why I'm not too upset about it. We'll scale in, but like, even if I wanted to hold, because when we took our initial buys on gold here at these 19, I was like, it was like 1850, 1859, 1858 levels. We closed at this key 1884 resistance, but even if we held a piece of gold, that same trade would be running absolutely ridiculous. And that's kind of what we wanted to do here today, was to open up that take profit so that gold has the opportunity to run to 2080. We ended up getting our take profit smashed at 1887. Our initial take profit was at 18. This is not my trade. My trade is down here at 51, and then stop loss was at 44.7. So this was the trade here. So it just hit the 1987 take profit. I wanted to hold to this, like I said, 2081, but we'll just scale in on re-entries for gold. So I want to break down this move because, like I said, next week we're going to continue to ride gold as we've been doing for the past 2 weeks. I want to start off with the weekly time frame most specifically. Now on gold, let's just remove all the drawings. What's good, Ace fam? Yeah, I got this trade. It's like roughly 20K. Well, actually, hold on. I might have it still open on one account. Let me check. Nah, it took me out. So 17K on one account, 10K on another account, and then on two smaller accounts, like 2K a piece or 1K a piece. So roughly, I don't know what the math is on that, like almost 30, somewhere around there. But on the weekly time frame, gold had created a new high. Despite what it looks like, this did in fact create a new high, and we can indicate that by, if we put the line on it here, you can see that gold did push above these two highs here. What did we have after? So we had an impulsive move up for gold. that created that high. What do we get after that? We're seeing now a corrective structure, or we saw, shall I say, a corrective structure. Where did this corrective structure go to? A key previous level on the weekly time frame. Tapping into this level here. This was the high that we had created. It went and created a new high when it broke this high up here. So the overall weekly structure for gold is bullish, and this is why I want to hold to that 2081 levels, because the next target for gold is to break these highs, and potentially after this break, then we could see a potential corrective structure for gold. But a break of the 2081 levels is what I'm expecting. So next week, this is really important, because this is the next moves, and I'm gonna break down how we can, continue to anticipate. But next week, once we get our first entry, and hopefully we get one on the very first day, we're gonna hold these trades until this 2084, and I'm gonna take whatever re-entry we have each day, at least one trade a day if the trade presents itself, as a re-entry until we get to the 2084, 2080 levels. When gold gets to 2080, then I'll start to look at the overall structure. But as of right now, that's the next level that I can see. And after we tapped into this key level of demand here, we had a bullish daily candle. This bullish daily candle was NFP Friday. We talked about it on stream that day, that NFP could, or following, I guess we went streaming the next day, so on Saturday after NFP, that it could correct this volume here to the downside, going to this level here, which is why we closed at this our first position, I guess you could say, at the 1884 levels, because it was a major level of resistance. But that next day, it was like I closed positions up here, it corrected for CPI, and then that Friday absolutely took off. And so once we seen all of this volume from last week, we already knew that price was going to break these highs and going to break these highs. This is why we had these levels as a target. Now, early on in the week, I went ahead and took a position right in this level, and I'm going to break down, why I took the position. And stops was below 82.6 here. So, okay, so price had formed this corrective structure. We came down, retested into a key level of resistance within this level. We got a bullish move, a creation of a high here, a corrective structure. I thought we could get a continuation to this 1932 levels, and then obviously our overall 1987 highs up here. What happened is we seen no volume throughout Monday. Then we got a corrective structure, and this was based on the 4-hour time frame. So it was based on this 4-hour move. We had just had this 4-hour candle close bullish. This candle had closed bullish. We anticipated this next candle to fill the wick and continue pushing bullish, similar to what we took on this trade here for the gold trade that just hit our take profit. It was the same thing. It was in our session time. The 1-hour candle the 4-hour candle, closed bullish at our session time, anticipating the wick to fill and to take out these highs and then these highs up here. So what we've seen happen is there was slow volume, price pushed down, formed a steeper low, and if we come down here to the 1-hour time frame, you can see where price actually came down to. Once it created this high, it formed a corrective structure, came down to the key level of demand here, and then continued to push bullish. And I was going to take these, I was supposed to take these buys, but on Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. It was on Wednesday. This was Tuesday. So Wednesday, it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember. We had some power issues here, so I wasn't able to be on the charts. I had to get that all squared away. We obviously got our power back. And that's yeah, so I wanted to take that entry, didn't get that entry. I actually took another entry that I closed. So when price broke this high here, I took an entry that I didn't send out, that I was supposed to send out and hold, but I wanted to wait for the corrective structure to form. So we had just taken this high when price pushed up. We created a high up here. I wanted to see the corrector structure form. I took positions at this level with a stops below, which obviously would have been still a good trade, a decent trade. But I wanted to wait for this corrective structure to form. So I closed it literally at break even before we even had this push up. And then I think Wednesday is actually when we had that power problem. So I wasn't able to take my re-entries here on this Tuesday. I was actually going to get some things for my camera so that I could start creating better content. But so that's why we didn't get that Tuesday entry. So essentially, and this is how I see it truthfully. Yes, we made a lot of money on this, or a decent amount of money, I guess you could say, because a lot is subjective. But we made a decent amount of money on this one trade here. But there's one trade that we should have had a re-entry in, and then another trade that I should have held. So in total, there should have been 3 trades, 3 winning trades at least, or 4 total trades, 3 winning trades on gold. One within this level after this bullishness with the stops below here, same target back up to the top. The other one that I closed, which I falsely closed right here, and all the way up to the top. And then finally our re-entry that we just got there. And I thought about taking this right here when the 15-minute closed bullish, but for it to just go up to here, it was like a 1-to-1.5 risk to reward, and I didn't like it. I was like, that 1-to-1.4, it just wasn't worth it for me. Even though I understand that price can go to 2080, I just wasn't trying to take a position. And we'll just wait until next week to start getting our positions to ride to this 2081 levels based on the larger time frame. And why do I say price is going to go to 2081? Well, one, this is the key weekly high up here at this 2080 level. 2, we just broke a key level of resistance. The fact that it pushed above 1987 just goes to show that it just created a new high, and that it would likely attack the larger high based on the larger time frame structure. The smaller time frame is just giving us confirmation of what the larger time frame has already showed us. We had a creation of a new high. Well, first we had an impulsive move up, creation of a new high, breaking previous highs. Corrective structure is low and slow volume. In a matter of 2 weeks, we've wiped out, roughly from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23 weeks of volume. 23 weeks of volume has just been wiped out in the past 2 weeks. What is going to stop this volume? The previous weekly closed extremely bullish. This weekly just broke for a new high. What do you expect the next weekly to do? The next weekly isn't just going to flip and sell all the way back down here. At the very least, the next weekly will form a corrective structure, a bottom wick, and continue in the direction of the volume, because this larger time frame trend is bullish. That's why we believe it's going to go back up here to target the key highs. It's the same thing as if I were trading this on the smaller time frame. If this was a trade that I could take, price came down to our key level. Well, it is a trade that we could take. Price came down to our key level of demand. Boom. All right. Once we get the rejection on the daily time frame, realistically, if you wanted to trade this, as soon as we get this daily bullish candle, all right, right after NFP, following that week, we're going to take buys. We wanted to take buys. Sunday, as soon as the market opened, it bought up instantly. So we couldn't get this first initial move. But our first initial move was to take these buys here. And you can go back to I have the recorded live session of 2 weeks ago when, following that NFP Friday, of when we talked about this whole wave for gold. And essentially, you go back to the weekly time frame, you take your entry on the daily time frame, and you would drag it up here for price to go back up to the highs. And so it would be a 1 to 8 based on the daily time frame structure. That's why we're capitalizing on such great high volume moves on the smaller time frame, because there's so much volume and price is trying to push to this larger time frame structure. So it's going fast because it's in the direction of the current trend. So this is why we'll be trading gold for the next couple of weeks until it gets to 2081. I'm not going to touch anything else. I'm not even going to look at anything else. I'm just going to make sure that that I don't miss any re-entry on this move up. Like I said, this week we had a good week. We had a profitable week. We caught this trade here, ran a 1 to 5 risk to reward. Absolutely amazing. This helped me to pass a couple funding challenges. Cool. But I didn't capitalize to my full potential. We missed this first trade on Tuesday, missed the second or closed the second trade on Wednesday, and then only got the trade on Thursday, and that we held, obviously to take profit today. So this just goes to show how much improvement we caught this one. We could have had another 1 to 16 and a plus of 1 to 4. So another 1 to 20 risk to reward, in addition to this 1 to 5. So am I excited or am I happy? Yeah, we caught a good trade. Cool. But I'm not satisfied because I want to capitalize to the full potential. And next week, we're going to make sure that we don't miss any trades. We're going to take all our entries, hold all our entries, and we know where we're looking to target back up to this 2081. It may take like 2 weeks. It may, and we're just going to have to be patient and hold and continue to scale in. Every time we scale in, we move the next one, stops to break even. Boom. So we take this trade, boom, move stops to break even on this one. Then once we see that we want to take this trade, we're going to go ahead and move stops to break even on this one. Boom. Stops to break even. Now we only have risk on one trade. Once we get this high volume for this trade, all of our trades are now risk free. So we're running completely risk-free. And at this point, you can start to trail, these previous trades into profit. I would just leave it because the overall target is 2081. This is just where I'm looking to go. And I wish I would have been able to take off my take profit because I didn't want it to take me out at the 1887 levels. Now, obviously, it's a good week, way to end the week off, you know what I mean? But I think going into next week, and obviously, I'm not too upset because we'll have re-entries. This is a key level right here. So it's likely we get some type of either push through and rejection to retest this level or a rejection off of this level and then another push through. We'll take the whatever re-entry we get next week. No worries at all. But essentially, a good week, but not a great week. Because we could have had a great week. And it's all about improvements. It's all about margin. I sent it in the Telegram. Not the Art of Thinking Clearly. Atomic Habits. It says right here in Atomic Habits, because I can show it to you. On the very first page, I got it highlighted, so you guys may or may not be able to see this, but on the very first page, I have it highlighted. It says, I also have it in a note at top, but it says, the aggregation of marginal gains, which is the philosophy of searching for a tiny margin of improvement in everything you do. So we want to get better. Our goal isn't to just be average. Our goal isn't to be decent. We want to be the best. And these scaled in entries and making these long high term runners pay is key in your P&L overall for the year. Like I said, we've had 2 weeks that has had more volume than we've seen on gold in the past 20 weeks. 2 weeks wiped out 20 weeks of volume. So that means if we have all this volume, this is good risk to reward and a good time to capitalize on these moves and to scale in. Make the most of it. When you have a winner, I suggest it's the best thing to do to look for scalable entries. I think that's honestly the best thing. And with gold, it just has such a range to fill to the upside. I'm not even, like I said, looking at any other chart. I don't even really want to break down any other chart because this is my only focus for right now. How much did I earn on trading? It was like a total across all accounts. It was like 30 something. But it could have been way more. 100 plus. Easily. And I didn't take it on one of my 200K funded accounts. My actual like live funded account. I didn't even take it on that. So it could have been. Yeah. We got to do better. That's it. That's it. Great trade. And it's simple. It's just higher highs and higher lows. So what are we looking for going into next week? I want everybody to be clear on this because it's important. We're just looking for a corrective structure to form. And we're going to scale in on entries, whether it be in this area or if price goes up to create a new high and come back down in that area, whatever. We're just going to look to scale in and we'll just play it as structure develops. But I want everybody to know we're looking for gold to continue pushing back up to 2080. at the very least. And it may take, like I said, 2 weeks. Well, I mean, it might not take 2 weeks. Like I said, the past 2 weeks, if you look at it on the daily time frame, have had more volume than the past 20 weeks. So it might just take 1 week or another high volume week like we seen last week. And really, the week didn't have a tremendous amount of volume because we had got in on positions in like this 59 levels and just held to 84. Friday was where all the volume came in. So after we had the CPI news release, we got a slight corrective structure, and Friday was just absolutely ridiculous. So following Friday, we know there's too much volume to just get corrected. It's likely price continues in the direction of the volume. And we had this weekly now going to close bullish. It's likely that same volume continues throughout next week because nothing has slowed it down. Nothing has stopped it. We'll probably target, I can't see anything but 2081. So we're just going to scale into 2081. And I don't normally like hold positions long like that, but you gotta make gold pay for it. She's gonna give us all of this volume and gonna push to this 2081 levels. We're gonna make her pay. We're gonna make the most out of that move because it's not always times where you have these moves, this high volume of a move like with gold. Like I said, past 2 weeks wiped out the previous 20 weeks. So this is the time we make the most of it. Now, it'll also be due to an economic geological geo factor, like some reason in the economies and what's going on with the war, which is why we have so much additive volume. But realistically, with or without the volume, structurally wise, when price came to this level, it was supposed to, I'm not going to say supposed to, but it was likely that it would push up to target the new highs because we just understand we had a high created or broken, high created corrective structure. We had impulsive move, slow corrective structure, retest, continue bullish push. So I just wanted to get on to really just break down this move here. And I'm not looking to take any more trades as of yet or as of right now, and just gonna wait till next week. This week was a good week. It was a good week. So I hope you guys had a good week. I hope you got some type of value from this. I know I just came on here haphazardly and been ranting, but this is so important, and we're in some really good times as far as capitalizing on these potential moves now, economically speaking, and the state of the world with the war, and that's a whole different topic and whole different story. But as far as structurally with the charts and with these trades, we have some good opportunities ahead of ourselves. Yeah, Philip, see you next week. Yes, sir. And we're going to just line it back up and we're going to do it again. We're just going to line it back up and we're going to do it again. And next week, we're going to make it better than this week. So let me tell you, okay, guys, because I had some goals going into this week. One I fell short of, the two I accomplished. So I created two small, one $2,000 account just to test out these two different brokers. So I started a $2,000 account and I started a $3,000 account. The $3,000 account is now at $4,000 and the $2,000 account is now at $3,000. Another goal of mine this week was to pass phase 2 of a 200K. If I would have held my trades, and we never do if, should have, could have, would have, I would have passed. But now I'm like 1% short because I wasn't able to remove my take profit. That's why I didn't want to get out of the trade, because I just wanted to hold it for, the next little 1% for next week, so I don't have to take a re-entry because I had such a good position. I could just get, 1%. From holding the trade versus, closing it and looking for a re-entry and potentially, having to, refine my entry, things of that nature. But anyway, so I fell short of that just by like less than 1%, probably like 0.7%. So next week, the goal is to take the 4K account to $10,000. obviously to pass the funded account or the 200K funding challenge, I want to pass that like Monday. I want to be done with it on Monday so that we can continue to trade these moves on the actual funded account. And then overall, I would say like I don't never really put a number goal on things, but like a little bit over a 50 to 60K week, that would be nice across all accounts. So that would be the 4K would cover 6,000. I have a couple different funded accounts, so I think we could do it. I think it'd be nice. Shoot, with one trade, yeah. So that's the goals for next week, and that's how we'll just be moving, and we'll only be trading gold. We'll be looking to continue to ride gold to the upside. We have resistance here, so depending on if we're up here on Friday or not, if we come to this 2051 levels, that's might be where I look to take some profits at 2051 next week, depending on how long it takes. Now, if we just see early on in the week we get an explosive move up to 20 or like, to this 2040 area, obviously I'm not going to close until 2081. But if we're getting to Friday and it's like moseying on up here, then we'll go ahead and close at 2051 and then prepare the next week to push up and through the 2081 levels. And when it breaks through the 2081 levels, it's likely that it's going to have a volume push up, and then we would start to see a larger time frame corrective structure potentially start to happen. So that is my next moves. Again, I appreciate all of you who tap in, and I really just want to give more value. I want to be completely transparent. I don't want to be like, all these other traders. I literally just want to teach you guys how to capitalize in these moves, because trading has changed my life. Truly has changed my life. And so if just one person can get some type of value and start to understand how I'm capitalizing on these moves and how to replicate it for themselves, managing risk and just getting 1% better to the overall, destination, then that just means so much to me. And I believe in every one of you, no matter where you're at in your journey. I believe that you will see trading success. You just have to keep at it. You have to keep working towards it. I didn't start making these types of trades and this type of money overnight. I've put a lot of time into it, dealt with a lot of losses, a lot of questioning, is this the right path? So just keep at it. You'll see success. So appreciate you guys tapping in, and I'm out.